This is our data loader for our project. This is our data loader to load all of our JSON objects and load them in. We use a data constants file that has public static static strings of all of our data types and file names. And we go through and we load an array. This is load students, no advisors. This has no advisors because advisors have students. Students have advisors, and so we have to pick one to load first, and then we add in the secondary object later. In this case, we load students first, and then add advisors in a different function. So this will return an array list of student. And within the normal JSON, the normal data types are very simple. We simply retrieve the data type. Strings are strings, and take them, store them. For UUIDs, we take the string UUID and convert it into a UUID. For enumerations, we take the string version, and then we turn it from a string, as this function right here does. We take a string and we return the corresponding enumeration version. When we get down to objects, we will only ever load an object. Our loaders and our cache class load them in a very particular order. In that particular order, majors are loaded before students are. So we go through our already loaded list of majors, we find the major, and we store it. When we get to an array, we load the JSON array, and then we iterate through the JSON array, adding the data type into an array list that we make beforehand. For objects, it's the same thing, except we do the check just like with majors to make sure that that any object actually exists. Then we add it to the array list, carry on. We get to hash maps, and when we get to hash maps, we make our hash map. We load up the hash map object, and we take the key, which is the course the UID. We take it, we turn it into a UUID. We find that course, we store that course. We then take the string, which is the second data type, and store it as a string, and then we just put the data type into the hash map. Do the same thing, just a normal object or list for electives, completed electives. We then will make for any data type, any loader that is returning an array list. We then make the object. We make the object and we add it to the array list, and we return the array list. Load advisors is the same as above. Load administrators is the same as above. Load students advisor is different because we're not actually returning anything in this one. Instead, we are simply taking the student UUID and the advisor UUID. We find the advisor object, we find the student object, and then we add the advisor to the student with set advisor. Courses and requirements are the same deal as advisors and students. They require each other. So we initially load without requirements. And we load initially without requirements here, and then we add them back here, which is why this one is void, and this one returns the array list. That is how all of these loaders work. There are quite a few, so we will not go into all of them individually. Looking over at course list, we have 3 versions of this. They're all the same, except with slightly different array lists, because this one has courses, users will have users, and majors will have majors. Within this, the most important function to making sure the data loader works is this find course, which makes sure the course exists within the list. And then as long as that works, we're able to go using get course, which returns the course by UUID. That is how the data loader works for our project.